So you may or may not have seen people post these performance fees or these payouts showing $42,000, $100,000 or even more with only an investment of up to $1,000, like $500, $29. You can start from any amount. And this is funded trading, or prop trading as some people would like to call it. And what it is you pay for a performance kind of challenge or an evaluation where you have a phase 1 or phase 2, or whatever the phases may be depending on the challenges. You pass it, and then once you've passed it, you are allocated a live simulated account. And from that live simulated account, you are able to get paid 80% or up to 100% performance fee on whatever it is you make back from the markets, which seems crazy, right? Because even though this says 42, this is up to 100,000 for me at the moment. I've done up to 400,000 in total payouts, 2.5 million in accumulation of funding, and I've taught hundreds of students on how to get their payouts as well. My name is Dan Chung, aka Champ, a verified funded trader, mentor, a father, the man I always wanted to be, and yours truly today, walking you through this prop firm guide. Now, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how these challenges work, how to pass the challenge, and also my strategy, risk assessment, and what you can do and what you should do next if this is something you want to kind of pursue. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand how prop firms work. You're going to be well on your way into going to get your first challenge or wherever it is in your journey, and also some secrets and nuggets to help you pass those challenges and become that funded trader you said you would be. So without further ado, let's get to the charts. First and foremost, let's talk about how it works. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to tell you about what happens if you fail, because this makes things incredibly easy moving forward, is that you have this evaluation fee that you pay for the challenge side. So it's the account size, $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. It can even go up to $400,000 for some accounts. Now, the reason is, and what the difference is between the account size is literally how much you can make and how much you are trading with. That may seem a bit silly, but I wanted to make that very clear for some people who may not see, okay, there's a price difference, account size difference, but what is the difference? In terms of percentages, in terms of the challenge and the requirements, they are all the same. The only difference between the pricing is the account size and the amount of money. So as you can imagine, it costs more for a $100,000 account because you can make more on $100,000 than you can on $10,000, right? So this is the fee that you pay for your challenge. Now, as you pay for this challenge, the only downside that you have is the fee you paid for it. That's it. That is probably why funded trading is so attractive, because for $528 and a $100,000 account, I could potentially make 10%, which is $10,000, for the only risk of $528. For some people who don't understand the financial markets may think that seems incredibly lucrative. I only pay $528 for the opportunity to make $10,000. Yes, that is very true. However, what's the catch? There is no catch, but the hardest thing is being a profitable trader is probably one of the hardest careers out there. I know, I said it, probably one of the hardest careers. So having that opportunity and that skill set to make $10,000 from 100,000, that is where the catch is. So let's go through FTMO's challenges and how their rules work. So basically, if you look to buy a challenge of any account size, say $10,000, $25,000 or $50,000, what it is there is a rule set for your maximum daily loss and also your maximum loss overall, and then a profit target you must adhere to. So with FTMO, there is currently a 2-step verification challenge, meaning you must do a 2-step phase evaluation. Now, on that phase 1, what you must do is trade, okay? So you're trading within that company, and that trading can be executed on any platform you choose, and there is no trading limit. So in terms of trading period days, there is no limit. So you can trade for a year, it could be 2 months, 4 months, it's completely up to you. That being said, there is a minimum of 4 trading days. So you have to at least trade for 4 days before you can go onto your verification stage, which is what they call on step 2. From this, how you can get to step 2 is just making a 10% profit target. It's as simple as that. If you can make 10% and not break your 5K and 10K, from here, you'll be able to go onto your phase 2, where you have the same rules, but the profit target is dropped from 10K down to 5K, which makes it a little bit easier, but a little bit bit harder. Now, the reason I say it's a little bit easier and a little bit harder is it's easier because the profit target is no longer 10,000 but 5,000, so 5%, so half the amount. However, the psychological part of it is where the most difficult part of trading comes. But I'll go on to that a little bit more later. So once that happens, you become funded, and then anything you make on your step 3 is where you will get 80% profit split. Now, there are other firms like CK Capital where you've got a load of different variations from this. So for example, they've got a lightweight challenge, which the profit target is 7% and then 5%, which makes life a little bit easier because instead of trying to make 10% on your phase 1, you're only looking to make 7%. Then if you go for the middleweight challenge, there is an 11%, which is soon to go to 12% drawdown, which means you have much more room to breathe when it comes to your trading. So it really depends, in terms of what the challenge is, in terms of suitable for your trading style and what it is you're looking for when it comes to a trading firm. So coming back onto this, to make this very, very simple for you, is you buy a CK challenge, a funded challenge. Once you've bought that challenge on whatever account size you've looked for, you then have to pass phase 1 by making 10% profit, not breaking any of those trading rules. And then you go on to phase 2. After phase 2, you then become funded, and then on your first payout at CK Capital is 100% profit split. Then from there, it's 80% ongoing after that, or it just depends on what type of payout rotation or whatever rules is updated to that firm. Now, the number one thing is you've got to do all of this without breaking any of the trading rules, and that is very, very doable, because if you are disciplined, you're consistent, and you're slow with it with the process, you can become a profitable trader and a funded trader. And one of the best things is there are so many people who are getting funded right now. There is so much educational content in the internet space right now that is very, very, very possible for you to learn how to trade for free or get a few courses, learn from them. I believe in getting multiple courses because you just don't know what one works. And also you got to remember, if it works for someone, it might not work for you. If it works for you, it might not work for someone else. So it's really important to kind of go through that. So that's pretty much it for step 1. The questions you've got to ask yourself is, first, do you think that you can do this with the strategy and psychology and the overall setup when it comes to markets? If you can, then funded trading is a very, very easy way to add to your capital people who don't have a large amount of money to trade with also to start with, and also gives you the opportunity to build a track record to potentially pitch to investors by showing them your results from this type of trading. Okay, so that being said, that's step 1 done. Now let's go on to step 2. So step 2 is how to start and then how to pass. Very, very simple, but very, very hard. Now, when it says how to start, is first you want to identify which kind of challenge that would kind of work for you, because here is a 2-step. You want to go for a 200K, you can go for 100K. What account size is it that you want to trade with? And then I like to kind of go by the 10 rule. Okay, so the 10 rule is basically how many challenges can I buy? Because let's be real, when it comes to success, one of the biggest lessons I teach is failure is a part of success, not the opposite. You are going to fail along the way. Let's be real. Do you really believe you could pass and get funded and get consistent payouts on your first ever challenge? The likelihood is no. And it's not to downplay you or be negative or anything like that. What it is basically to explain to you that the consistency in trading is incredibly hard, and that is the hardest thing. If everyone could do it, then you'd see payouts left, right, and center. But that's not the case. Only 10% of people are successful when it comes to trading. So figure out the account size. If I have $5,000 to burn, then cool. Maybe I could go for $100,000 accounts because I can buy 10 of those. Maybe it's 10,000. So first reverse engineer, see what your buffer is and what you can work with. Now, once you do that, then you know what account size, then you can go with your trading, right? So now FTMO, I believe they've got 2 types. They've got the swing type and then they've got the normal type. Their swing is basically higher leverages. And not only that, they have different options available. Now with CK Capital, there's a lot more. So on the lightweight challenge, there is a lower profit target, but a lower max daily loss and a lower overall loss as well, 8% and 4%. But on the middleweight challenge, you have a 8% profit target and a 5%, but you have a 12% drawdown. But like I said, moving forward in the development, it's going to have 12% drawdown, and lightweight is going to be 6% profit target on both challenges. So you've got 2 different types. You've got a challenge where it's lower profit target, so it's easier to pass, but you have like a tighter stop loss or a tighter kind of loss period. Or the other option is you have way more of a buffer, but you have to have a higher profit target. So they're both the same, but different. It just really got to figure out what works for you. Now, for the people who potentially have, you know, a longer losing periods, or the scalpers, they may pick something like the lightweight challenge. Or for something, you know, who swing trades and wants to hold these positions more and wants to have a large drawdown period, then maybe the middleweight challenge is for them. So you have to really figure out what works with your strategy and what works with you. And then once you've picked that, now you know where you can start. Now I know I can buy 10 challenges, I know what account size I can buy, and now I know which challenge to buy. I then go through the procedures of clicking onto whatever challenge it is, buying it, going through the dashboard, paying, and then staying true to my system to be able to pass by passing phase 1, phase 2, and then getting funded and getting my payout. So that's it. That's the end of the video. No, I'm just joking. That's just the start of the video. So that's how it works. That's how you can pass, and that's how you can select your challenge. So now let's go on to step 3. Step 3 is talking about how to make money on this. Not only how to make money, but I'm also going to show you a guide on the possibilities on how to at least make potentially 20 to 120K a year. Now, the best thing when it comes to trading is to understand what I call modeling and visualization. Now, modeling and visualization is something that I did in the webinar recently with my students and my course members. And what this is just to see the possibility of how much you can actually make when it comes to trading. So first and foremost is to show you a $100,000 account. We're going to be using $100,000 because this is a reference that's applicable to most people. And even if it's not applicable to you now, it's a goal that you should try to go for, because I generally believe a 100K account to a 50K account is more than enough money to retire you and to be completely financially free. And I've made a video on that. So if you want to go check that out and understand that all you need is not 1 million or 10 million, all you need is consistency and money to basically put a roof over your head and food on the table. That is what financial freedom is. It's not about the Lambos, it's not about the key, whatever. That materialistic things is nice, but it's not everything. We must remember that. So that being said, let's look at this modeling. Now, what we have is something called a risk to reward, and this will go into more detail when I give you the full risk management plan. That's right. This whole video is like a win-win, right? Is on the risk, we're basically risking 1% per trade. This is what we do and what we teach in our course and in our team. And the reason we do this is because if we do anything lower than 1%, it just shows it takes too long to pass, and then it becomes over the opportunity cost over time. And then obviously the reward as well, it can compound and be a lot more lucrative if we can keep it a static risk. Okay, so static means exactly the same. The dynamic means we change depending on changing period, but I'll go into that in more detail later. Now, what we're saying is every time I take a trade, I'm going to lose $1,000, but if I win the trade, I'm going to make $2,000. This is what we call a risk to reward. Now, this risk to reward, we've actually based this on some data from my trading student. Now, this is based on Chloe, where we did a webinar with her. And in this Discord, you can see all of her journal and everything written through, and everyone else's journal that they're kind of staying up to date with. Not only this, you can see my whole journal, my whole trading plan, all of my reps and everything for free on Discord. Now, coming back onto Chloe's statistics, what we were saying today is that she has around a 40% win rate. So meaning if she takes 10 trades, she will win 4, but she's likely to lose 6. So on a 1 to 2, over 10 trades, she's making around $2,000. Okay, so she loses 6 and she wins 4. So she wins $8,000 over 10 trades, but she loses $6,000. So over that period, she is able to make $2,000. Now, on a weekly period, if she's taking 10 trades a week, which is average 2 trades a day, she's able to make $2,000 per week. Okay, so if that's the case, then that means it will take me roughly times 5 weeks to be able to make that $10,000. So it will take me 5 weeks to pass phase 1, which is very, very respectable and a very good amount of time. And then if I was to do the same thing, it would only take me 3 weeks, right? Because $2,000 again per week, which will put me at $6,000, which instead of the $5,000 on phase 2, will then pass phase 2. So in 6 total weeks, I could potentially be funded, and I keep that funded account for the lifetime of that account as long as I do not breach any rules. Does that make sense? So you can see as soon as I've invested 2 months of my time and also had the skill set to be able to do this, I now have a $100,000 account where I'm able to keep any of the potential profits I make. So if we continue on that spiral, and let's just say now we are funded, if she then trades, let's just say every month she's able to take, so 4 weeks will be, let's just get rid of this, So if she's making $2,000 per week, she times that by 4, she's making $8,000 per month. If she makes $8,000 per month, that is $96,000 a year. So now you can see the opportunity, and that's only on $100,000. So imagine if this was $1 million, she could make $960,000. So this is first to tell you the opportunity. Now, there are a lot of anomalies we can change, but it's still, no matter how we play it, this is the opportunity, and it should be able to, what I say here is to visualize that it's so possible to make any amount, an abundance, a number that you want from trading. It's possible, because let's just say she doesn't make $2,000 a week, but she makes $2,000 a month. That's fine. That's still $24,000 a year. Fine, $200, that's fine. Because let's just make it, to downsize it, then there's $100 for $200. Then I'm making $200 per week. Have that per month, then that's $400 or $800, whatever it is you want to, create that scenario. It's possible. The only thing that's hard about it is showing that consistent, persistent, resilient action to be able to adhere to the capacity of your trading plan. Okay, but regardless of this, I just wanted to show you that this is possible. And if you scale to let's say $1 million, then the opportunity is up to $960,000 or whatever it is that you're making, or whatever the numbers or data that you have when it comes to your trading plan. Okay, so the opportunity is there, and it should be very, very, very apparent with this rule set that I've just shown you. Okay, so that's why it goes to show that how much money you can make come into this, but you've got to be very, very clear when it comes to your trading. So another thing you want to do when it comes out to this is remember to manage and journal your trading. And I'll go more into this in more detail, but some of the things I want to throw some tips for you guys is that the proof is in the pudding. I'm someone that has got these payouts, but I'm not just one person. There are plenty of people in the space. There's Kyle, aka JCap, who's did 1.1 million in 2 years. You've got other people in the space who are showing their certificates, and the number one thing I would look for is FTMO, because FTMO is one of the most established brands. You have the QR code, which you can scan right here as well. It takes you to the FTMO website, and it cannot be faked. So once you see that, and they've got consistent payouts, they've got statements, they've got track records, that is a mentor you want to be looking for. Okay, so that being said, there are tons of people on podcasts that have done it. The rules are very, very simple. It shows that it's very possible. The modeling and the profit split, the risk to reward, and the opportunity that we have right now is an abundance, and it's something that I'm internally grateful for, and you guys should be grateful for too as well, because you're watching a video right now that's able to teach you how to make money, and money is a tool. Money is a tool to set financial freedom between us and the loved ones that we have. Does that make sense? So before we go on, now let's go on to step 4, which is our strategy to-do list. That's right, man, I'm giving you guys all the gems today. So on the to-do list, this is what we call a trading playbook. The trading playbook is something that you should be having a plan to help you get from A to Z. A dream is a dream, but without any action, it just stays as a dream. But if you have a plan, it becomes a goal. Why? Because you know what you could potentially do, and that goal is something that you can see in the future. With that plan, you have consistent, persistent, resilient action, which you've hear me saying time and time again, that makes that plan becomes a reality, because you're taking action on it and you're making it come to fruition. So therefore, to make that dream become a reality, you to become a trader, you need to have a very clear, concise plan. That clear, concise plan is the same thing as driving. If you're trying to get from A to B, how can you do it without a GPS or a map? You could go any direction and you don't know if you're going the right way. So it's exactly the same thing when it comes to trading plan. And the craziest thing is when it comes to trading, and 90% of people who trade in, how many of them really have as clear of a to-do list as this? So this is given to you for free. This is something that we teach in our course, because in our course, what we have is we say becoming a profitable trader is in 3 steps. Now, number 1, you have to have the strategy. In that strategy, it has to be proven by someone. It has to be proven by yourself. So it may work for me, but does it work for you? Can you go back test it? Can you sample test it? Does the trade actually work? Can you actually go and do it in real time? Back testing and future testing. then once the strategy is set, it talks about the psychology, like how much does it make you move, right? Like everyone has a number. It could be $5,000, $50,000, $500,000. Something is going to make you sweat. What is that number? How can you control it? How can you grow? So there's a lot of these things that you must understand. And then the third and final thing is piecing this all together. And this is the hardest bit, is becoming profitable. Because we know the strategy. I know, like the gym, I have a workout plan, I go to the gym, but can I stay up to date? Maybe carbs don't work for me. Maybe backloading is better for me. Maybe sugar at night time. There's loads of these things about ourselves that is imperatively different from everyone else. We must learn to understand ourselves, consistently learn what was going right, less of what we're doing wrong, and improve on that. And the tip of the scale will make us profitable. So that being said, things like the to-do list, the journaling, the reps, the community is things that you must be doing on a consistent basis. So I've actually got a whole 1.5 million payout plan that I have, my whole trading strategy as well. Again, I'm happy to give away for free in this video. But before we do any of that, let's go into the to-do list. Now this to-do list is, and here is a worksheet that you can have that we have within our course, is a trading strategy write-up. What is the strategy? Like what times do you trade? What pairs do you trade? What is the confluence? What is it that you are looking for? If you can't explain it, you don't know it. It doesn't matter if someone else understands this, but can you explain it from yourself to yourself? Because if you can't, you already have a problem right there, right? Then it goes into your tick boxes. Like people, when it comes to trading, it should be a confluences. All of these things have to align before I take my trade. What is that? Do I actually have these written down in terms of the fundamentals? So for example, let's just say my ones where I've got my strategies, I'm looking for the daily 4 hours in favor, looking for a pattern A setup, looking for a pattern A confirmation, and then the last 10 minutes has a high probability, have my fundamentals, entry and exit requirements. Everything is written here. So it's very clear and very understanding of what it is that I'm looking for. Then you have something called a trading mantra. Then you have your trading lifestyle routine, like your flow chart, what it is you're looking for. And then most importantly, your journal setup. The journal setup is the most important thing when it comes to trading, because you can't manage what you don't measure and you can't measure what you don't manage. And that goes into things like our Discord journal. Like, are you showing up every day? Are you actually reviewing every single trade? Are you understanding what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong? Are you showing every single breach? Are you showing your passes, your wins, your losses? Because the accountability from yourself to yourself is what is going to make you a winner, right? And that's one of the hardest things when it comes into trading. So this is a to-do list. If you want to have access to this to-do list, I've made a whole video explaining the whole to-do list. You can also download this for free as well, somewhere in the links in the description below. But more importantly, if you do want to join us on our course, we've got a wait list, or it's available if this is the launch is happening right now. It's basically £299. It's only £299. And for that, you get the 3-step course, you get the webinars, you get live trading sessions with me as well. Not only that, we do our meetups in the UK, Dubai, and also Asia, which I'll be moving to in the future. And more importantly, I'm now really focused on my own trading journey, which you understand if you follow me or if you don't. But in 2025, my goal is to hit 7 figures just in 1 year in terms of payout. I've done my years, of 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K, 100K, done all of those, but I've never hit the goal of 7 figures in 1 year. Now, if you want to join me and you want a community and you want to learn to trade, or you want to improve, it could be any level. You want a strategy, you can join us. If you want to improve in your journaling, you can join us. If you want a community, you can join us. If you want webinars and live trading, you can join us. Psychology, you can join us. Any level, it's for everyone. The investment is only £299 and it is limited to 50 spaces every time we have launched it. So if you're interested, the wait list is down below, or if you're lucky enough during the launch period, the website will be down below as well for you to go and purchase. So I see you in the family inside. But for now, let's get back to the video. So having this to-do list and finishing off, we can now go on to our next session, which is the risk management. Now, this risk management is a plan that I'm going to give away to you guys for free very quickly, but it's also something that I want you to go and try and work on. Now, this plan is what we call the standard risk plan. Okay. So really and truly, this is the 18 trade rule or 20 trade rule, or you can do the 10 trade rule. It's completely up to you. Now, the 10 trade rule is very simple. So let's go for that one first. Is you are statically risking $1,000 per trade. Doesn't matter if you win, doesn't matter if you lose. It is always $1,000. The reason you do this is it makes life easier. You trade consistently. You let your edge play out. If you fail the account. You don't waste too much time trying to get out of drawdown. Like I said, going back to I'm able to buy 10 challenges. Let's just burn this one off and then come onto the live. But you have to be very careful. You don't want to just keep burning and burn them all and you've got nothing to show. You want to be very smart about it. $1,000 and then $2,000. That's it. I'm always risking $1,000, always make $2,000 if I win, but whatever happens, happens. That is the stoic mindset when it comes to the first static risk management plan. The second risk management plan that we have is what we call the dynamic one. Now, this dynamic plan is basically hedging and saying that in your losing period, you're going to risk off, and in your winning period, you're going to keep the risk on. And what that is on your first 3 trades, you are going to risk 1%. So if you lose more than 1%, you then drop the risk down to 0.5%. If you lose more than 5 trades again on that 0.5%, you then drop to 0.25%. So in total, this is 8% total risk across the board. So if I lose 1% 3 times, that is 3%. If I lose 0.5 times 5, it's 2.5%. The remaining 0.25 10 times is 2.5. That total is 8%. Now, if you have a 10% drawdown, you can just up the 2% on the 1%, 1.5, 2.5, you can apply that wherever you want. But the best thing about this risk plan is it's helped you to have that drawdown period longer. You have more trades, you have more room to breathe, and you're able to trade longer on that account as opposed to the 10 trade rule of risk. Now, realistically, for my first ever challenge, I would probably use the standard rule and it get me used to trading and understanding the probability and the trading periods. But if I've already been funded or traded a long time, I'll stick to the 1% because I'm looking just to pass the challenge or fail this challenge. That is it. And my goal is to get funded. And once I'm funded, I will take the risk off. Okay, so that is the risk plan. Now, the final step is what we call what next. Now, by this video, if you've watched this far, you understand what a funded trading is. You know how the plans work. You know how to get funded. You've even seen the risk management. You can even go and check out any of the strategies that we have, which is like a break retest. And on top of that, we've seen the modeling and the visualization when it comes to trading. So right now, you know how to be funded. You know where to go. You can get a challenge. You can get a strategy. You can buy my course and basically learn how to trade, get the psychology. You can go and buy an account and then go and use the strategy and implement it and work on it until you are profitable and you've made it work. Then you will go and get these certificates. So the proof is in the pudding. Now you know what's next. Now, the final thing I want to leave you guys with is to understand and set expectations. Trading is incredibly hard. If you don't have a passion for trading, you're not going to make it work. And that is why so many people fail. Because what's the difference between a failure and a winner? The failure is the person who just gave up. Giving up is actually the easiest thing in life. Why? Because you gave up. That's it. You don't have to do it anymore. You gave up. That's it. Hands up. However, if you keep going, that is probably one of the hardest things ever. And I'm here to tell you, and you can use this video as a sign, is that giving everything you can and doing everything you can to the best of your ability each day, but not getting a result, that is life worth living for. Don't you think? So my point to you is that if you're generally serious about making it work, you got to think, what am I willing to do? And this goes back to not just my course, anyone's courses. Like, I bought so much education, but people have this stigma to it. Like, buy every course out there and learn everything you can and see if it works. Even if it doesn't work, it's better than doing that and spanking it on a night out. People will call education a scam, but will go out and party and won't talk about how much they spent on alcohol and all of these negative things that they've had. I'm not go for it. I'm not saying don't have a balance in life, but the question is, are you really doing whatever it takes? So if the question is no, this is your sign to pick yourself up. And the question is yes, keep going, because the only people who fail are the ones that give up. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been a very long one. I really enjoy making these videos and then coming on with an inspiration at the very end. So if you want to go check out the other videos, please do. But all I ask for you guys is to basically smash that subscribe button, share this video, because I want to get this video at least over to 100,000 views, because then I want to make more of these tutorials. I find a lot of passion in these, because at the end of them, after giving all of this information of telling you who you can become, some of you guys are going to come into some real success because of these videos. And I want to make more of them because this is what we can do to help the people in the space. And I've been gifted and favored by Allah to be able to do this. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to apply for the waitlist if you want to learn from me. And also if you want a discount on your prop firm challenges, link in the description below. Champ out. Peace.